Welcome to the 615 Sessions podcast on this Thursday afternoons. Lovely to have you here for another episode of the pod presented by Zen Sports. Promo code ATOZTN gets you up to $100 on your no danger first wager. Coming to you live from the Zen Sports studios where we do the pod on a weekly basis. Now, here's the thing. Normally it's a Friday situation, but Ron Slay, my colleague at 104.5 The Zone, is getting married in Long Beach, California, and I got to catch a flight tomorrow, so we're doing the podcast today. But because I'm moving things up a little bit earlier on you in the schedule, I thought I'd bring you a little something special, something that sometimes there's a tendency to reuse some content. I'll be the first to admit it. For as many different shows as we're doing, we do pull a lot of different things to bring in here on at the end of the week for the podcast. But for today's episode of the 615 Sessions, having concluded the Titans offseason program, I figured I'd bring you a Titans player from the offseason program who we sat down with earlier this week on what is essentially the last day of school. Now, we have dates for the Titans to report to training camp before you hear from rookie wide receiver Jha'Quan Jackson. 15-minute conversation that I thought was really, really enjoyable. I think he's somebody who you guys are going to get to know pretty well in the coming season, and certainly he looks to have an instant impact, an immediate impact on this roster, not just on offense, but on special teams as well. And he's been one of the players who's definitely caught our attention, one of the newcomers who's caught our attention this offseason to date, for what he brings to the field, a different dimension than the Titans currently have in their wide receiver core. There is some redundancy with Kyle Phillips. You talk about the slot option, the primary slot option, who is definitely going to be Tyler Boyd, and how the rest of the wide receiver competition plays out after Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and, of course, Boyd in this Brian Callahan new-look system. But for Jha'Quan Jackson, it's just about focusing on daily improvement. And not just daily improvement on offense, but daily improvement in every phase of the game that he can impact. So from the end of the offseason program, our conversation with Jha'Quan Jackson for you guys today on the 615 Sessions podcast. Back here at the Titans practice facility, pleased to be joined by rookie wide receiver Jha'Quan Jackson. We do this thing where we cheers the mics around here. So cheers, bud.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the show. How's life at this point in time for you? This has last day of school vibes. I know you guys got some team activities going on tomorrow, but it's got a bit of pretty crazy couple of months for you here.
Oh yeah. Thank you for having me. It's crazy because I was just sitting down here yesterday, just thinking about how much work I've been putting in from the Senior Bowl to the combine to the mini camp to now. It takes a toll on your body, but I'm a professional. And I got to handle my business and get into rehab, get the massages, get the needles, and whatever I need to be the best version of me each and every day.
What's the most taxing part of the recovery process? Because it's not just the physical exertion out here on the field. And, obviously just getting your career started, you're not having to take all the kind of strides that some of the vets are. But what's been the thing that you've kind of had to grind on, particularly when it comes to the recovery process? Because that's as important as anything.
The biggest thing I would say is sleep. It's hard to get the right amount of sleep because, just me coming in as a rookie and learning the playbook and trying to understand, like, how can I remember this play? How can I remember this concept? It's just writing over and over and over and over till you get it. Then you look at it, it's about 11, 12 o'clock, and you're like, dang, I got to get up for 4 and be there for 5 so I get in the hot tub and then practice or meetings at 6, So just trying to get the right routine, and which I have after the first week, and just being the best version of me.
I'm just getting to know you for the first time, but you don't strike me as somebody who the moment is too big for.
Oh no, never. I've had a lot of adversities in my life, from losing my god brother to having somebody in my family from COVID dying to going from a season from 7-6, 6-7 to 2-10. Then we flipped it around and went 12-2 to 11-3. Won
Oklahoma around too.
Yep, beat USC, and had Hurricane Ida where I lost my whole apartment. So I believe in God give his toughest battle to his toughest soldier. I'm a big firm believer in faith, family, football. So my faith is big. Once I got close to God, I think everything started working into my favor.
What's been the most fun part beyond just the experience of being an NFL player for the first time?
just wearing a Titans helmet, you know. It haven't hit me yet, but one day it will hit me. I don't know if it's gonna be the first preseason game on what training camp when I get
Sure.
when I score a touchdown to get knocked on my butt. But it just excited to be back with Tajay, you know, and his organization. You know, this is a great organization in the right direction.
Tajay is such a unique character, it seems. And again, he's pretty new to all of us too. So we've been getting to know him over the course of the last year, but just somebody who seems to emit so much joy on a regular basis. I imagine that's been a positive influence in your life coming up together.
Oh yeah, he always happy now. He got different character traits each and every day. He excited one day. He's playful one day.
Some people call that schizophrenic. I don't know.
Some days he don't want to be played with, but at the end of the day, you know, I know him well, so it don't matter if he don't be played with or not. I'm still gonna mess with him. He gonna get it because we brothers for life, and just you know, I'm excited to have him and be a part of this Titan organization and the things that we're gonna do going forward, which is gonna be great. You know, just waking up and just seeing him and just watching his routine and then starting my routine and just seeing what works for me and what don't work for me, what works for him and what doesn't work for him. So it's just the part about just getting the routine down. And once you get that down, like you're gonna be straight. You know, you're not gonna worry about messing up. You ain't gonna worry about did I get enough reps of this? Did I rehab right? And then all of that, you know. But I'm glad to see him each and every day. You know, every time I wake up, it's like, dang, I'm living back with my dog again. I'm back with my dog. But you know, some days I don't have good days, some days you don't have good days. So, you know, flush it down the toilet. You know, next play mentality. You know, once you if you had that bad play in your head, it's not gonna go nowhere unless you keep thinking about it. You know what I mean? If you stop thinking about it, it's gonna go down the toilet, and then you're gonna worry about the next play.
Just to have somebody like that to bounce it off of, though, to go through that day to day. Because I mean, the grind is upcoming yet with training camp and the season. Of course, as much football as any of you guys has played coming out of college, with the expanded 17 game regular season and postseason after that, if things go to plan. But to have somebody in your corner like that already coming in, knowing that you're going to continue to build those relationships and build those things up, having that kind of foundation to work with.
Oh yeah, for sure. As I say, you know, it goes back to college when I first played my few games and he didn't. You know, he looked up to me and I showed him the ropes. So now I'm just following the ropes that he's showing.
How often you remind him of that?
Probably 2 weeks ago we talked about it. He was like, I said, you remember you played this game? He said, nah, I ain't played this game. You played. So, you know, once he got his feet wet, he took off, you know, and do the same thing. Same thing here. He got his feet wet last year and he just started going up, you know. But it's the process. And the big thing is just believing in yourself, confidence.
Yeah, it's crazy because I remember getting through his first training camp last year, and the coaching staff at the time talking about him as one of the best playmakers that the team had, mentioning him with Derek and D Hop, who as a part of the roster at the time, and you could see it, but not understanding what a playmaker he was at Tulane and understanding the skill set, the three down running back and all that. But to be able to watch that from afar and now to be a part of it, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was great. You know, when I was back in college, you know, we talk each and every day, just like how your day was and what can you improve on, what you don't need to improve on. Like he said, how can I run this route? How can I do this versus this coverage? You know, just getting feedback and you know, just seeing him excel from his freshman year to his second year to his third year, and then he left, and then started slow in NFL and then he took off. But it's exciting to watch him do what he do. You know, he's so hard on himself, but I don't know why. But that's him. The harder he is on himself, the better he is. So I learned that and just let him be hard on himself.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I'd be like, man, you could have caught that better. You could have ran the route better. He'd be like, for real, Quan? I'm like, yeah, man. Then he go back and go run it again. I said, nah, I don't like it. And he do the same thing with me, just playing mind game with me. I'm like, you sure I stepped on a ladder? He's like, nah, no, you didn't. I just want you to do it again, extra reps to be better.
Well, it's good to have that balance for sure coming in as a rookie, I imagine. Jha'Quan Jackson hanging out here with us at the Titans practice facility. It's the last day of the offseason program. So what plans do you have? I know that so are the rookies invited on the wide receiver quarterback trip, or is that something that's just for the vets? You going on that trip?
Again?
Oh no, I don't want to start nothing here.
Talking about. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. We'll talk about that sooner or later. You know, we still got to be here next week.
Sure.
do some workouts and things,
A
and
rookie specifically.
rookie specifically,
Yeah.
and do what we have to do, and we'll handle that on the back end.
Yeah.
You thought you had me, but nah, you didn't have me. I knew you were going on the trip, so it would be an exciting trip. So can't wait to see how that go. But tighten up.
Yeah, Will been calling it a business trip. So speaking of Titans fans, because obviously we're on the Titans flagship station. What do Titans fans need to know about you as they get to know you before you actually take the field on September the 8th?
Born in New Orleans, I say Luton, Louisiana, 15 minutes outside of New Orleans. I love my family. That's the first thing. I love my family. They're always there for me, and I love Tajay family too, because that's like family to me. But
Yeah.
the biggest thing to me, I'm a leader. I always come to work no matter what. I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm never sad. I'm always happy. I'm excited. The best version of me each and every day is me being happy. Even though I might have something bad going on in my life, you would not know. You always see me smiling, but I'm a playmaker and I'm a great teammate.
The pride that people who come from Louisiana, specifically around the New Orleans area, seem to take in what it means to come from there, what it means to have succeeded and to represent that part of the country, and specifically to be able to go back and play a preseason game. How much are you looking forward to that opportunity? Understanding that there's a lot of stuff that has to happen before you actually get to take the field at the Superdome there.
That's a blessing, Just coming out, as you said, coming out of New Orleans, it's not easy. It's not easy. They got a lot of tragedy, trauma go down there. Before I came down here, it was like 2 weeks before I came. That it was 2 o'clock in the morning. You just hear just gunshots ringing right in front of the house, where I was staying at. And I called my dad. I said, "Man, I think I got to move into a hotel, before I leave, because I didn't want nothing bad happen to me or my family. So, but Tajay played his first game last year at the Saints.
Yeah.
And I went and I just saw him play, and it's just just playing in your hometown. So I'm used to it because I played a championship there. We practice there at Tulane all the time, so it's exciting. My family, friends, and whoever else want to come. My mentor, my manager, whoever just come. It's just exciting. I get to look in the season. The season Superdome one more time.
You got one for me before we wrap this one up? Give you the opportunity to turn the mic over. You seem like you got a little broadcasting in you.
Oh nah. What question you have for me? Since that you want to know that's beyond football.
Beyond football. Well, for me, it's the idea of understanding what it's like coming up in the New Orleans area, like that you just described. The idea of calling your dad and needing or feeling the need to get a hotel room before you're getting ready to have the most important job interview, essentially, of your life, and feeling that sense that you have to have that level of safety around you. I'll be honest with you, Jha'Quan, that's not something that I've ever experienced in my life, but I know there's a lot of people who come from all kinds of different circumstances that can identify that. And so for me, it's just trying to get to know you guys not just on a personal level, but also the foundation of where you all come from, to help me understand you guys as we continue to cover your career and ultimately tell your stories here as a Tennessee Titan. So, I think the one non-football thing that I was looking for, you answered really well there, because just to imagine a situation like that in my head, I don't even, I can't even, that doesn't even compute to me,
Yeah, it's dangerous. Just talking to one of the teammates from Tulane the other day, they said, man, they got a lot of like police tasks in New Orleans now, because the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'll be there.
They're trying to clear the streets and the gun violence and all the robbing, and try to minimize it, because once they try to have the best it can be in New Orleans, like, because once you have stuff going bad, and they probably won't have another Super Bowl in New Orleans, so you got to make sure everything's right, because like regular season in New Orleans game, you get your windows broken, your car broken into, you get robbed, so you just try to minimize that. But just growing up there, it just had a lot, the hurricane, and just being in New Orleans I remember when my freshman year, first time, like me being in a flood other than in 2005, the Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
The water is to my chest on a regular day. Like on a regular day,
You're
it's
just
raining.
going through
Like,
day-to-day life like that. That's unbelievable, man. That has to be a bit of a burden for anybody from that part of the country who aspires to more and to showcase that New Orleans can be more as a city and as a community and things
Right.
like that. Do you feel that sense of responsibility on a daily basis?
Time to time, but what you put yourself in once you find out where your residence at and what you're doing and what's around you, but you just got to deal with it and just know how to maneuver and be at the right place at the right time. But I have one more question for you.
Oh, see, I thought I'd give you enough time to think of one to ask me. I see you. It's all right. I do 3 hours of radio. I know how to stall.
Who's your favorite player?
Ever?
How long you been here?
This is my 9th season. No, 8th season coming up. 8th season. Nine years in Nashville out of college. Eight seasons covering the Titans. Yeah. So my favorite player that's come through here. Oh man, it's probably Derek. I'll be straight up with you. I've gotten to cover every game of that dude's career, and like you don't necessarily feel it all the time in real time when you're like, oh my God, that's a Hall of Fame football player that I'm getting the opportunity to, the talk about the responsibility of things like the responsibility of telling that dude's story and telling it the right way and meeting the moment the way that he created so many moments here for a whole generation of Titans fans. The franchise been down bad for a little bit before him and that group kind of went through their cycle here and took it to heights that they haven't seen in quite some time, basically since McNair and Eddie were around here. So yeah. Right. Getting to tell that story was about as cool as an experience as I've had doing this.
You ever heard of a guy named Darius Reynard?
I have.
D-Ray.
Yeah, I remember him.
He went to Hornville High School.
Yeah.
Went to West Virginia. Got undrafted. Went to a couple teams and then came to the Tennessee Titans. He was the last person to take a punt return to the house.
You're kidding.
When I got drafted, he called me. He said, "Quan, bet you won't be my record. Bet you won't be my record."
So who knew that he was he obviously remembered that at this point. Did you know that before he had said,
what?
Before that he was the last person to do that?
No, I did. I found out that day when he told me and called me, but it was exciting just talking to him each and every week, and just he was like, man, the facility wasn't like that when I was there, man. I got to come down there and just check everything out.
You guys are getting a lot different treatment than a lot of guys or at least a lot different atmosphere than a lot of guys who have come through here for sure.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be able to get that historical context. Well, Jha'Quan, it's been great to sit down with you. I don't want to take any more of your day because I'm sure you guys got more stuff going on here before you actually get a little bit of a break. But it's been a great pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it. That is Titans rookie wide receiver Jha'Quan Jackson. A good conversation with him to wrap up the offseason program. But don't worry, we got a lot more stuff coming. We got a lot more great guest co-hosts on the docket for the 615 Sessions podcast. So we appreciate you. We appreciate Zen Sports. Promo code ATOZTN on your Zen Sports app to get in on all the action in the best sports book app out there. Betting just got better at Zen Sports. I'll talk to you guys next week on the 615 Sessions podcast. See y'all.